Welcome to the Candle Business Coach Podcast, a show about the craft of candle making and small business. I'm your host, Kirsty Allen, and I'm a candle maker, mum of three, and kindness advocator. Join me as I dive into all things candles and small business and deliver advice and tips to you in episodes every Tuesday and Friday. Are you on the list to get my daily motivation emails? Every day I'll send you a message that is designed to help keep you focused on taking action toward your goals. Sign up using the link in the show notes. This episode is brought to you by the membership for candle makers, the Candle Makers Collective. Becoming a member gives you access to fortnightly online group Q&A coaching sessions to support you, monthly online workshops and trainings to help you grow your business, plus frequent expert guest speakers to inspire and teach you. You'll also have access to an ever-growing resource library with templates, guides, planners, and ebooks. But my favorite aspect of the membership is our exclusive Facebook group for accountability, connection and support. So if you're looking to take your candle business to the next level and learn more about the membership for candle makers, click the link in the show notes for the Candle Makers Collective. Welcome back to the podcast, my friend. Today we have another candle maker conversation, this time with the beautiful Melanie from White Lux Candles. So Melanie, would you like to introduce yourself to the listeners and tell us a little bit about your story?
Yeah, sure. So obviously I own White Lux. Originally, the idea started when me and my best friend actually, it was her hen's night, and we decided to just make like little candles for obviously people that are arriving and, you know, as a thank you for coming. So yeah, we went and bought wax. We went and bought like candle dye and the wicks at this little tiny shop in the city. And we went home and just made it. So we had it like on the stove. We had the pot in like the old-fashioned way, stirring the wax, and yeah, we made them. And I just was like, that was actually pretty cool. Like, and then I think I like stopped doing it for a while, and I just got kind of like, I guess, wanted a hobby on the side. I was like, you know, I was working shift work. So I was doing night shift. I was doing, you know, 3 days, 3 on and long days. So I was like, I just want something that's going to fill my days in. And then I was like, I'll just make candles. So that's just how it thing. And then originally it was just for friends and family. And then it just developed into this little side hustle. And now, you know, like I'm growing, I'm doing markets now, which is actually pretty fun. I love doing markets. I think if I spoke to myself, wish I could go back actually, yeah, and speak to myself and say, just do it, just get out there. And I think, you know, I posted like a thing on this Aussie business group thing, like for other small businesses, and I was like, just do it. Like, you know, I think if people like are listening now, just do it. Just get out there and do the markets because you won't regret it. It's like, it's so joyful. Like you meet other kind of store makers, you meet other people and you bounce ideas off each other. Like you can be like, oh, I've got this really cool idea, and they'll give you honest feedback, like if that's going to sell. Obviously, I've got some really good ideas in my brain that are ticking away, and yeah, I'm like, oh, this is really cool. Like, what about this? And yeah, they're like, yeah, I think that will really sell. So it's nice hearing that because obviously I don't know if it's going to sell.
Yeah, that's right. And when we first start, we don't always know necessarily who our target market is. So we can't then go
Exactly.
ask them, is this something that you're interested in? Would you purchase this? Would you buy it again and again? So to be able to go to the markets and get that instant feedback from other people that have got experience, they've got knowledge of the industry, and then being able to support you in your idea is fantastic. So I'm so glad you've been able to connect in with other makers at the markets.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's just rewarding as well. Like it, yeah, I love it. Like even when I don't do markets, I'll still pop down and like just check out other stores, or I'll see people that I was next to at the markets and I'll pop in and be like, oh, hey, how's it going today? Like, are you busy? How's the sales? You know, like I think I was supposed to do a market a few weekends ago, but I got sick, and one of the girls, like I knew from previous markets, she was going to be there. So it's quite nice to know, oh, I've got a friend there and, we could go and have like a lunch date and stuff. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. But no, markets are definitely something I wish I did sooner. That's for sure.
Why do you think that you didn't do them sooner? Like, where was the hesitation coming from?
I think in my mind, I was like, I'm not ready. I don't have enough stock. What happens if I go there and I sell out in the first 5 minutes while I'm still out in the first hour? I have to pack up my stuff and then like leave. And my partner actually was like, that's a good thing. If you go and you sell out, that's really good because then your product sells. So yeah, I think it was just the doubting in my head going, I don't have enough stock. Like I think it was the
Mm.
panic. But once I first just went there and I thought, you know what? I don't have I don't have enough like I don't have a lot of stock. And I think my first market the Friday before, like the day before Friday, like the market was on Saturday. So on Friday, I was in like our lounge room. I had candles everywhere, labeling them, packing them up. And it was a mess. Like it was chaos. But obviously I've grown since then. And yeah, I think it was just when I went there, people were buying and like other people didn't, buy something. I didn't have it, so that was kind of good. But now that I'm more going, people are saying, "Oh, do you have this one in this color, in this fragrance?" And I'm like, "Oh, I actually don't have it today, but I can." I live locally. If you live locally, I'm happy to drop it off to you, or I'll be here next week or next fortnight. So it's kind of good. And I think, especially talking to other market people, they do the same thing. They're like, I just bring what I think will sell. I just bring enough stock in. And if I run out, then I just say, et cetera, et cetera. Like, sorry, I don't have it today, but I'll be back next fortnight, next weekend. So just kind of like, and a lot of people understand that. A lot of people are really happy. Like they're not like gonna get angry at you and stuff. So
Exactly.
yeah. But yeah, I think it was just like I just felt like I didn't have enough stock. That's why I kept putting it off and putting it off, putting it off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so interesting because most of the
Yeah.
candle makers I speak to, when they're on the cusp of doing their first market, their hesitation is what if I don't sell anything, or if I don't sell enough stock, or if I don't sell, what if people don't like the fragrances that I've brought, all the sizes, all the colors, all
Yeah.
all the different variables. So I find it so fascinating that you're completely on the flip side where you thought,
Yeah.
I don't have enough. What if I sell out in the first hour or
Well,
the first 5 minutes?
so that I did have that doubt in my head as well. Like I think my first market I kind of got a bit overwhelmed because obviously we kind of compare ourselves so much to other people. And there was one lady at my first market and she was just selling. She was selling, people were coming up to her. She was like selling. And I was sitting there and I'm just like, I haven't sold one thing. And it's been like an hour. And I was like, and I got actually, so I got really upset. Got a bit teary. And, I think once I had that little meltdown, I just kind of got over it. And I was like, you know what? Who cares if I don't sell anything? At least I'm putting myself out there. And, people aren't going to like every fragrance you have. I've got customers, like people will come up to my store and I'll say, oh, like our barley escape's really popular, and they'll smell it and some people go, oh, I don't really like that. Like, it's you know some people love it. um
Mm.
Especially like my bath salts. So I've got two at the moment, and one customer actually told me she like smelt them. She's like, oh, I don't like that one. I don't like that one either. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Like everyone is going to have their own opinion, and people, and I think it's good because of that. Now I've launched another bath salt to kind of, have different, like have the two, but also have another one in the mix. So if people don't like those two, then at least I've got a third. So it definitely opens your mind up, I think, when you know, go there. If people aren't going to like it, you can kind of get that feedback. I know a lot of people ask me if I've got certain fragrances in, and I just say, no, I don't. I don't have it, or it's coming. I just kind of like, fake it till you make it, I guess.
Yes.
And I just say, look, it's not come. I actually don't have it in stock, but that's a really good idea. Like it's coming. So I think you just gotta, yeah, just do it. Just get yourself out
Mm.
there. I
Mhm.
think you won't regret it, definitely. Like I'm happy I'm doing it. Like it is stressful, I must admit, but setting everything up. But once everything's set up, it's just the day goes so quick. And it's actually, to be honest, I think it's like brought me and my partner closer. Like he comes with me and stuff. And, it's nice that we get to sit down and he even like, throws ideas at me. He goes, I think you should do this. Or what about if you do this? So it's actually like really nice that it's
Mm.
brought us a bit closer together with my business because normally he wouldn't really get involved. So it's nice that he's kind of throwing ideas at me as well. And he's like, I think you should do this. So that's pretty cool.
I love that. I think it's so important to have the support of your partner or your husband or whoever, your family and friends around you as well. So
Mhm.
to know that you've got that is so valuable and so incredible that he's able to support you through your business, through the ups and downs that I'm sure you experience, not just when you're at the market, but outside of that as well. And I
Mhm.
think getting that instant feedback from customers when you're at the market is one of the best things that you can do for your business because you're getting information and feedback, as I said, from the people that you're wanting to sell to. So if you're finding that a certain scent just isn't selling, that's a good
Mhm.
indicator that it's just not the right, either not the right target market that you're aiming for, or it's just not the right scent for your business. And if that's the case, you can discount it, sell it out, and then just not make it again. Whereas if you're having multiple people coming up to you and saying, do you have this fragrance? Do you have that? Do you have this?
Mhm.
It gives you a really good indication as to, okay, I need to bring this into my range. This is what my target market wants. This is what
Mm.
I can provide to actually get more sales.
Oh, absolutely. Like, yeah, yeah, it's definitely good, because yeah, you can change your fragrances up. Like, I've got a little like sample roll, I guess I say, and it has all my fragrances. And I'm constantly like, I've actually this weekend I'm actually switching it up. So I'm getting rid of three because I know they don't sell, and I'm changing them. And I'm like, yep, I'm chucking these ones in because I think as well is like with markets, when you first start out, you don't know, like what you said, is you don't know your target audience. So when you go to markets, you find who your target audience is. It could be mums, it could be, like obviously kids are coming up to my store and they bring their mum across, like, oh mum, can you like let's smell these candles? Or,
Mm.
so that's kind of obviously, me figuring out, okay, maybe mums are my target audience, maybe these people are. So yeah, I think it's definitely like a learning curve, but it's like a good learning curve. It helps you
Mm.
grow as a person, but also as a business. I've got so many. I was worried that my layout was too spacey, it was too empty. But a lot of customers and store people have told me how I've got my store set up is really good. It's not full on, it's not crazy. People know where things are. I think if you have it like that, then you're going to be set up. If people can go into your store and go, oh, okay, that's where the candles are, that's where your bath salts are, oh, that's where your samples are, have everything priced, then yeah, you're going to really do really well.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree. Having a cluttered table is confusing for you as a stall holder, but even more
Mhm.
importantly, it's confusing for the customer. And if it looks
Oh,
too busy,
100%.
if they
Yeah.
have to scan the table to try and find a particular item and it takes too long, they'll move on to the next stall.
Oh, yeah.
And and you can
Mm-hmm.
absolutely lose sales if you don't have a beautiful stall set up. That's not to
Mm-hmm.
say that it has to be absolutely perfect, but think about from the customer's perspective what their experience will be like based on how your stall has been set up.
Yeah.
And you're
Mm-hmm.
not always going to know how to do it the first couple of times. So that's why
No.
it's good to do a few markets at least so that you can play with how it's set up. You can play with what fragrances you bring, what products you bring. And
Yeah.
it becomes this, as you say, this learning curve, this learning
Mm.
experience to be able to
Yeah.
know what my target market actually wants. And I will
Yeah.
give myself a little shameless plug. I do have a market guide that is available. Just check out the link in the show notes if you're wanting to have a read. It's just an ebook with some tips and tricks and some information about how to run your first market store. So make sure you check that out if you're also on the cusp of launching your first market. So I would love to know, I actually already know the answer to this, but I'm sure the listeners would love to know,
Yeah.
what is the meaning behind your business name?
So obviously my last name is White, and we just originally my whole business was a totally different name. My partner, I'm a bit shameful to say this, my partner came up with my original name, and it was called Smelly Bellies. It's actually quite funny looking back at it now because I'm like, why did I even go with that name? Like, so we kind of have a bit of laugh, but yeah, I wanted to change my name. Like a lot of people kind of, especially my family, they were just like, Smelly Mellies, like seriously, it's not really a business name. And yeah, I just wrote down all night, like I just kind of went with my last name. I'm like, okay, you know, I just came up with all these ideas. And then I was talking to my cousin and she was like, we want to have something luxurious. You know, you've got the jars, they, look luxurious, they look really nice. And then yeah, White Lux was born. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the name. It's like it's nice. It's like a business name now, not something like Smelly Mellies. So yeah, that's how the name came out. And it's kind of part of me. And, if me and my partner do get married, hopefully, at least I've still got that little baby there that's still got my
Yes.
name. So yeah, so
Oh, I
that's how it
love that.
came about. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure I could definitely take this conversation into a whole different direction, but I won't. I'll keep it candle related. I would love to know, how long have you actually been in business for?
So I've been probably about 2, 3 years.
And that's
Yeah.
including Smelly Mellies, or is that just White Lux?
No, that's including Smelly Mellies. Yeah.
I just
I
love
think
how
it's,
that sounds when you say it.
I know, I think I started doing Smelly Mellies. Yeah, I think maybe a year. I think I was doing that. And then I changed over to White Lux and we
So
did
you've
like,
actually gone through a full rebrand as well.
yeah, full, yeah. We, I'm going to be a bit shameless, but people would go onto my Instagram and you scroll right down the bottom, like right to when I first started, you will see like really horrible photos and you'll see my old branding. And then it's actually pretty cool because you look at the bottom and you can see like my growth and how far I've come. And it's just a totally different now rebrand. So no, it's yeah, so probably about 2 to 3 years I've been doing it for, and I've just finally done markets. So,
Wow.
yeah, it's been a long process.
Well, it's funny you say that because some of the candle makers I speak to have been in business for 5+ years and
Wow.
they're so adamant, which is amazing in itself, but
Yeah.
they haven't done markets and they're completely adamant that they don't want to. And it's
Right.
like saying you're completely cutting off an avenue or an income
Mm,
stream. Yes, there's a time commitment. Yes, there's a lot of energy and a lot of organization that goes into it. But as we've said before, like when you're at the market and you're speaking to your customers and you're getting that
mm,
instant feedback, it's worth its weight in gold. And if you're not open to at least giving it a try, as I said, you're completely cutting off a whole revenue
mm.
stream.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, like I sell more at the markets than I do online. And
Mhm.
that's because people can see my product, people can see me, and it's all about impulse buying. People don't, they go to markets because they want to buy something.
Mm.
I go to markets because I want to buy something. Or I'm just like, oh, let's just go to markets, let's have a look around. I end up buying nearly everything from every single store there. So, yeah, I think just, it's definitely a different avenue. Like, I think people will buy from you because they can see a physical product. And, my partner says it all the time. He's like, like, it's kind of a good point. He says, when have you gone online and bought a candle? And I'm like, probably never, actually. You know,
Mm.
I probably never go online and buy a candle. I probably, before I did candle making, I went into a store and bought a candle, because I wanted to smell it. I wanted to feel it. I wanted to, you know, like obviously I didn't know anything about it before, but I wanted to have physical product in my hand. And a lot of customers want that.
Mhm.
So, yeah, you've definitely got to get out there and do markets. I think it's a very big thing, and markets are growing. Like, I'm lucky I got in where I am at the moment, because obviously candle making is a very competitive market, and I've spoken to a few candle people and I'm like, oh, you should check out this market, you should go into that one. And they've told me that they're not taking any more candle people. So I'm very lucky that I got into where I am. If you see a market that's starting up, if you anything, get in, just do it. Because if you can build that relationship up with the market holders, they'll want to keep you coming in, even if you don't. I don't go every weekend. I haven't been actually, maybe for a couple of weekends, but I know that if I email them, if I contact them, I'm in straight away. So yeah, I think it's definitely building that relationship up with the market holders to say, you know, hey, can I come to market this weekend? And you know, and then they'll keep you on. They won't kind of replace you, hopefully, with another candle paid
Yes.
business. But yeah, it's definitely something you got to look into, because it is growing, the market
Mm.
industry, like the market store industry.
What would you say to someone that lives in an area that just doesn't have markets at all?
I think try and expand, try and find something that try and find another area that does markets. I know the travel is a lot. I I do local ones, so my markets are like 10 minutes, 15 minutes away, but I'm doing ones that are at probably like half an hour away. So, I know it's a lot, like packing the car, getting it all set up, but once you're there, it goes so quick and it's worthwhile, like I think definitely just brand out, just reach out to other areas, reach out to other, you know, businesses, other candle people. I know a lot of people will help you. If you even just join groups like I think I'm part of a few groups like Small Business, Queens and Aussie Business, like just put a post up. You can do it anonymously and just say, I want to get into markets. What are the areas around here? And so many people will help you. There's so many people out there that will help you get to your first market.
I think
Yeah.
it also comes down to perspective as well and your attitude. As you said, like there is a lot of effort in packing the car, traveling,
Yeah.
setting up. It is a big day when you're there.
It
You are on
is.
your feet for
Mm-hmm.
most of the day. And you can look at that, you can look at that and think that's too much effort. There's too much of a risk of not being able to sell. What if there's other candle stores there, et cetera, et cetera? Or you can come at it from a perspective of this is an adventure. This is something
Yeah.
that I get to do. I am blessed and
Yep.
I'm lucky enough to be able to get
Yeah.
into the market, to meet my customers, to meet the other stallholders, to make friends and to make sales.
Oh,
And
100%.
if your attitude is in the right perspective, it makes a huge difference to the sort of experience that you have when you're there.
Yeah. Oh, 100% it does. Like, yeah, if you've got the right attitude and you think, like, say it's your first market, like, you're really nervous. If you're driving half an hour, if you've got someone there to support you in that car, or if you're doing it on your own, you're going to have people to help you set up. Like, you know, I've had a few people, like, I did my last market by myself. I set up everything, and it was a stretch. Like, it was a massive task, but when I finished, I was like, I did it. Like, I did it by myself. Put on some music and just really hype yourself up to
Mm.
just be like, you can do this. And once you're there, like, I think my first market, I was so nervous. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? Once I set up my store, the nerves just went away because I had people next to me that supported me
Mm.
and chatted to me, had a conversation. to like calm my nerves. So yeah, definitely just I think it's definitely your attitude. If you think like, oh, I've got to put my car and then I've got to unpack it. I have those days. I think my last market, I was like, I don't really want to pack my car. I don't want to do it. Obviously I got unwell, so I couldn't go. But I think when you get there, you see people, you build like I call it like, small business besties. So, and then when you see those people, you go over, you have a chat with them, you calm yourself down, and if you've got someone there, like I'm lucky that I've got my partner there, so I can go around to the other stores, have my little, chin wag, chat with my little besties, and then go back to my little store. And it's like my little, calming myself down, getting myself excited, but not overly excited that I'm, come off like too ambitious, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, yeah. But no, it's definitely your attitude, 100%.
When you start your candle business, there are so many things to consider and research along the way, especially when it comes to choosing the right suppliers. Long Story Short provides all your design and printing needs, from your logo and branding to designing and printing your product labels. The quality is exceptional, the customer service is amazing, and prices are very reasonable. They're the only label company I recommend, so check out their website or send them an email today to get started. hello@longstoryshortdesign.com.au. So I would love to know what has been your biggest win in your business so far?
Probably markets. I think that's my biggest win. Yeah, I know I've spoken about markets a lot in this podcast. But no, I think that's my biggest win. Like my partner, I was like, obviously everyone gets deflated and because they're not making sales. And that was me. I was like, I'm not making any sales. No one's going on my website. Why do I have a website if I'm not getting the sales coming in? Like I see people, on Instagram, I see people on TikTok and, they've got their little like label printer just printing and printing and printing. And I'm like, why is that not me? Why is that not me right now? And like I said before, my partner said, do you buy candle online? And I'm like, no. And that's now I've gone to markets. It's like, yeah, it's so much better. Like I love it. Yes, I care about the online sales, but not as much as I did before, because I still am getting sales, but I'm getting it in a form of physical sales. Like I can give someone that candle straight away. I don't have to come home, pack it all up, make sure it's all snug and, really tight in that box so it doesn't break. I just give it to that person straight away. And I think that's my massive win that I've done is markets.
As we touched on earlier, people have that impulse buy. They want to feel the product. They want to smell the candle, which they can't do through a screen. They want to experience it and they want it right away. They don't want to wait for it to be delivered.
Exactly.
They want to take it home and burn it that day. So being able to make sales at the markets is really great. And then in the off season, when the market, like at the colder weather, when there's not as many markets on, if people have bought your products previously, they know the quality is good, they know the scent is good, they know what scents they like, then they're more likely to purchase from your website or purchase from your Etsy store or online.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah, exactly. If you can kind of build that, and I think it's all about, building that relationship up with those customers so they keep coming back to you, get your business card out them, just throw it out, throw it at them, just be like, take it. Follow me on Instagram, go on my website, if you can build that relationship up with those people. I did think of something actually, but now it's just slipped my mind and I can't remember what it was.
Once we stop recording, you'll remember what it was.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, like you're just gonna have like that's right. So I remember it now. A customer emailed me and she was like, "Oh, what does Bali Escape smell like?" I'm like, Bali Escape, like it smells like a spa. I was like, how do you answer that question online? I was like, I don't know. I had to just give her kind of the notes and stuff, like the top notes, middle notes. But obviously, she's a customer. She's not going to understand all that. So, yeah, that's kind of that was kind of like hard to answer that question. And I think now at markets, people can just pick it up and smell it. I don't have to explain to them what does it smell like.
Mhm.
And I've noticed as well, like if you have a product, if you've got a scent that you know is not popular in your mind, tell people it's popular. They will buy it. My barley escape, I thought it would never sell because I like it. People like it. But I was like, people are going to buy it. It's my most popular one because I tell people that I go to markets and I'm like, oh, our barley escape's really popular. They pick it up, they smell it, they buy it. So now I've got to kind of switch it and be like, this one's not really popular. Hopefully they buy it and then I can discontinue the fragrance. So yeah, you just, like I said, fake it till you make it and you'll be fine.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
I think I know people are scared of doing markets. I think people are anxious or they got anxiety. There's a whole different thing of it. But if you've got that support next to you, like a partner, a friend, anyone, a relative that will come with you and support you for that day, you've got someone there. And like I said, you'll meet your small business besties. So, SBB. So, gonna make that my new thing.
I love
So,
that.
yeah, you just gotta do it. That's all I gotta say is, stop
Mhm.
holding back and yeah, you won't regret it. Like I wish I told myself last year and do markets
And
because
do
you won't
markets.
regret it. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, definitely. It's so important to do things that scare you a little bit as well and push the boundaries of your comfort zone and try new things and
Mhm.
prove to yourself that you can do something new. And when you give yourself an opportunity to try something new, such as going to the markets or even
Mhm.
trying wholesale, going into that cafe and saying, "Hi, I'm a candle business owner. Here's my card. I'd love to give you some samples, etc.,
Yeah.
etc." When you do things like that and you show yourself that it's actually not as scary as you think. It
Yeah.
gives you that confidence. It gives you that reassurance that you're on the right path,
Mhm.
you'll find success, and that what you're doing is the right thing for you. But you have to take that initiative. And
Yeah.
if it means signing up to your first market
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
messaging both Melanie and I to say that you've done that, because we would love to
Yes, I,
know.
I want messages to
Yes.
say you inspired me to do my
Yes.
first market. I
Oh, I
want
would
those
love that.
messages.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's like a leap of faith. It's like starting a
Mm.
new job. You go in, you don't know anyone, and you have to learn all their systems. You have to learn how they take customer calls, how they interact with each other. Exactly the same. With markets, you're doing it on your own, basically. It is. It's definitely a leap of faith, and I think I don't, I don't know what to say about that, but yeah, it's definitely a leap of faith.
It
Um,
is, yeah.
yeah, 100%. I do agree. I think people just got to do it. Like I posted a picture of me on one of my groups that I'm with, and I think like 400 people liked it. And people were just, some people were saying, oh, like I'm scared to my first market. How did you get over your nerves? And I just said, just do it, just, yeah, that's all you can do. Like, but yeah, I
Mhm.
definitely want those messages. I want people to be like, I did my first market and I sold out, or I didn't. Like, I don't care if you didn't sell anything. I just want to know that you went to your first market and I'll be so proud of you.
I love that. So,
Yeah.
yes, so to all the listeners that are hearing this episode, first of all, thank you for listening. We always appreciate it.
Yes.
And please message me on Instagram at Candle Business Coach, or message Melanie as well, and I'll get her details at the end of the episode so you can message her as well.
Mhm.
And let us know. Let us know, what you're thinking, how you're feeling, how it's going. Even if you're at the stage where you're just researching markets, that is still a
Mhm.
huge step forward in
100%.
your business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, if you need any help with how to, like, what you need for markets, if you're in an area where you can't find markets, I'm more than happy to help you research where markets would be.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I don't. all I do is candles. I don't do anything else. So it's nice to, I want to help as many people as I can. But yeah, I think, yeah, just message me if you've got any questions, if you're, nervous or anxious, even on the day that you're in that car and you're just about to get out to set up. I want messages. I want you to message me and just, if you just want to have a chat, like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, you know, you won't even remember the nerves. You'll just get in the car and
Mm,
you'll be like, I did that. Like, that was great. I loved it. Yeah, I love doing markets now. And like I said to you before, I wish I did it earlier.
mhm.
Um, yeah, and it's definitely a leap of faith. Like, I think people that have done it for 5 years, I think what you're saying is, and they haven't even considered doing markets. Why? You know, what's kind of holding you back? Like, are you nervous? Are you worried you're going to sell out? I'm worried sometimes I'm going to sell out, but it's a good thing. It means people love your product. People want to buy from you. You sold out, and that, your business is going to take off. I did think of something else, but it slipped my mind again.
I think it's you feel that sense of pride and accomplishment when
Yes.
at the end of the day, then the market doesn't matter how many candles or products you've sold, even if you sold just one thing, you've
Yeah.
connected with that customer in that
Mm-hmm.
moment with your product. They've smelt your candle, they've smelt your reed diffuser or hanging diffuser or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and they've had that emotional connection with a memory, perhaps, or even with just yourself. And they've gone, yes, I actually do want to spend my hard earned cash in
Mm.
these times of inflation. I still want to buy a luxurious candle.
Yes.
So you still got to be grateful for that as well. Doesn't matter
Yeah.
how
Oh,
many products you
100%.
sell.
Yeah.
You always
Yeah.
want to at least sell enough to cover the cost of the market, and then everything
Yes.
above that is obviously going to be in the profit zone. But
Yeah.
no matter what, every single market you do will be a little bit different, even if it's at the
Mm.
same place. The experience will be a little bit different. The customers might be a bit different. The
Yeah.
weather can play a huge factor in it as well. There's all these
Yes.
different variables as to how your experience will go. But
Mm-hmm.
as long as you've got that positive attitude as best you can, have that right mindset, and just relax and enjoy the day. You can't control what you can't control. So just enjoy
Exactly.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. I think there's a lot of things that, you know, like play into factor, but I think one of my friends, she, before I even started doing markets, it gets easier as you go. I think I'm on to my fourth market now, and the nerves don't come anymore. I just get in the car, I drive there, and I'm like, yep. And I find the person that's organizing it, and they're like, yep, you're just here. And I just go and set up, and I'm just like, done. I obviously get there early because I don't want to be stressing that people are going to come and start walking and,
And you're
like,
still setting up
oh,
the stall.
yeah, they pick up all
Yeah.
the candles, So I think that's definitely a thing. Get there early, be organized. Even if you've got time, before the market start, take a photo of your store, you know, do, build it up on your socials, tell people you're there, take as many photos as you can. I think that's one thing as well. People don't. I am kind of guilty for that. I don't take enough photos of my store. Um, but yeah, even just play around with how it looks. Go, step back, take a photo, and rearrange it. Figure
Mm.
out what is gonna get people to come over. A kind of trick that I kind of did. I've got reed diffusers, so I have one open on display sitting on my table. That's how, and people smell it. They come over because they smell the eucalyptus. And I've had a few people comment that my table, like, obviously looks really nice, but it smells amazing because of my reed diffuser sticks. They're out there, they're in the open. So, yeah, that's kind of a little trick and a hack that people can do on their table now. But yeah, think of ways that going to get people to come over. Don't have, I've seen tables where it's cluttered. You don't know where you're looking. They've got all your candles, they've got all your melts in the middle. more candles, and I go up and I look and stuff because obviously I want to see what they're selling, what fragrances they've got, but I don't know where to look. I'm like, oh, they've got that there, okay. And I'm like, I don't know. Simple, sweet, short, sweet, and simple. That's how you want to have it. Three
Mm-hmm.
things. Just have it like my table is really open. I don't know if I've got a photo I can like pop on my Instagram. People can have a look at it and stuff. Or I can send you if you send me a message. I can send you how I set up my store, and then that might give you some inspiration. But yeah, I get worried that it looks too open, but a lot of people have told me that it looks really good. It's
Mm-hmm.
just really nice. People know what they're looking at, have everything priced correctly. People don't want to ask questions. They just want to come up, they want to smell, they want to buy. If they've got to ask you questions, it's kind of like, I guess, wasting their time. Like, if that kind of
Mm-hmm.
makes sense,
Yeah.
you've got to think yourself as a customer. If you're at markets, what would you like? Who would you go up to? What kind of stores would you go up to? I go up to every single store now because it gives me inspiration. Um, there was a lady next to me. She was selling crystals and she had lucky dips. Kids love lucky dips. And the kids were just constantly coming over. And it's like, and that's the thing, they've got mums. Yeah, if you can think of outside the box, have that lucky dip, and you're going to get that kid to come over. That mum or that adult is going to come over. They're going to look at your table and they're going to want to smell things. They're going to touch things. And that's how you can start building that relationship up and sell that product and go, yeah, this is the product, my bath salts. People look at them and they have no idea what to do. I explain to them what they need to do. It gets me talking to them. They buy it. They're like, oh, that's actually a pretty cool idea. So yeah, definitely thinking outside the box is the way to go as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true
Yeah.
because if you go to the markets, even just to do that market research and to
Yes.
see what other people are doing and get some ideas and get inspired by
Hmm.
what you're seeing, it can help invigorate some new energy into your business when you
Hmm.
might be feeling a little bit low motivation or feeling a little bit disheartened because you're not getting those online sales. So
Yes.
trying new things, meeting people, putting yourself in the shoes of your customers, and
Yes.
then making sure that your stall is set up as beautifully as possible,
Hmm.
excuse me, is a really great way to, as I said, bring in some fresh energy into your business.
Oh, 100% it is. Yeah, I think, I have my days where I get really disheartened because I'm not getting sales, or sometimes I just go into the garage and I'm just like, all my table's a mess. And I'm just like, I don't want to do this today. I don't want to go into that. That's just a tomorrow thing. But if I do it tomorrow, that's less of a day. I think that makes sense. Less of a
Yeah,
day
it does.
for
Yeah.
me to get ready for markets. So, and it is hard and it is a long, obviously, making the candles and everything. But I think once I got into that garage and I just put some music on and I just cleaned it all up so it's organized for me and I know where everything is, it just flowed. And then I was like, okay, everything's organized. I've got all my candles ready. I've got all the wicks in them. They're good to go. Tomorrow I can do all my pouring. And I've done all my pouring, and tomorrow I have to finish them all off. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think it's just, yeah, like definitely I get like deflated, but I think when I'm at markets, it kind of goes away, because even if I don't make any sales, at least I did it. I'm out there. I had a good day. I saw my SBB, my small business besties. I might do a podcast called that. That's actually a pretty good name. So yeah, I think there's just, yeah, just don't be disheartened if you're not getting those sales, because I'm definitely not getting online sales, you know, and yeah, I think it kind of goes away now when I'm at markets. I kind of don't compare myself to other people when I'm at markets. I'm like, my store is different to that store. And I think my last market I did better than I do the markets I go fortnightly. So,
Mm.
that just shows, and a lot of people, like, my SBBs, they were like, you know, I asked them, I said, "Oh, how'd you go?" And they're like, "No, we didn't even make a profit. We didn't do that well." And I was like, "Oh." And then obviously it sunk into my head going, maybe I didn't do that well. Maybe I didn't, make that. But I'm like, no, I think I did really well. Like I was busy, people were coming up, I was selling, and yeah, I felt really good. Like I was really happy. And obviously I'm going back there again because I did really well at that market. So yeah, I think once you keep going, your third time, your fourth time, you'll be a pro. People will coming to you and be like, "Oh, how do you do this?" Or, "Can you help me set up?" So you'll be like part of the furniture with the markets. But I think definitely find market groups on Facebook. There's, heaps out there. It's all about connections as well with markets.
So we've come to one of my favorite parts of the podcast where I
Mm-hmm.
ask all my podcast guests three questions relating to candles.
Mm-hmm.
Question number one, what is your favorite candle fragrance?
Oh, that's a hard one. I actually got two new fragrances the other day. So I'd probably say my vanilla caramel, I like that one. And my new one actually really nice. It's Hawaiian salt with citrus and it
Mm.
smells really, really nice. Like it's just so heavenly. Like it actually I feel like I'm just on a beach somewhere, just, drinking like a mojito or something, or a cocktail, like really nice citrusy one. So
Yes.
no, I poured that today. So I did like a little sample one and yeah, I'm excited to light it. So it smells amazing and I can't wait to the house smell. It's just really luxurious and yeah, it's really nice.
Beautiful. Question two, what do you love about candles?
I think just the joy that it brings people. I think, obviously everyone loves candles, but I think just people, when I have my candles on display or someone has one in their house, it's just kind of that reaction when they have it burning and people give me that feedback and I'm like, oh my God, like I blew your candle out and I could still smell it 2 days later. So if that's really nice, like I was like, oh, I'm actually doing something right. So I think that's kind of rewarding. Like it's just that feedback that I get from, people that have bought from me in the past and they come back and, they say like it just smells absolutely amazing. Like my house, like, yeah, I really like it. So that's quite nice. And for me as well, like when I burn my own candle, obviously when you're around the fragrances, like, you kind of don't know what fragrances is what because you've been selling them all the time.
True.
But when I go out and I come home and I walk, I can smell it straight away. And I'm like, I think I burnt my watermelon one the other day and I could smell just watermelon all through the house. And I was like, oh, it
Mm,
just smells so nice. So
yes.
yeah, I think that's what I love about it is just gives people that joy, that it lights them up. It makes their house smell amazing. And I think definitely my jars, like I love the jars that I've got, and it's just really nice to have those ones. It just really luxurious, like, and that's what my brand is. So,
Yes, white
yeah,
lux.
yes, exactly.
And question number three, what is one piece of advice you'd like to give to candle makers during their journey?
I think just keep going, don't
Mm,
stop. I think if you're, like I said before, I think if you're feeling deflated and you don't want to go and make 20 candles or 10, 15, go and do something different that's in your business. Go and do something you love. I think just keep doing it. Like, don't stop. Just, I know days are going to get really bad. I have those days too. And I just focus on something else. Even if you don't want to do anything for your business that day, go and do something that you love doing that will impact your business.
Melanie, thank you so, so much for being a guest on the podcast today.
No, that's all right. Thanks for having me.
I've loved chatting to you about candles and market stalls and just your journey as a candle maker. For the listeners that would love to connect in with you, where can we find you online?
So my Instagram is White Lux Co. So Lux is Lux, and then obviously Co. And then White on Facebook, I'm just White Lux Candles. Yeah.
And what's your website as well?
So that's whitelux.com.au.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you again so much, Melanie. I really appreciate your time.
No, that's all right. Thank you so much.
Thanks everyone for listening today. I hope this episode added value to your candle making journey. Check out the show notes for all the links mentioned throughout today's show, and please subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. Thanks again for listening. Have a beautiful day.